Ladies and gentlemen, it won't come to you as a surprise because not once, not twice, but we have forgotten the number of times Pakistan and Pakistan's propaganda, false news has been exposed not just by India but across the globe, and that's why Pakistan's call for neutral investigation into the Pahalgam terror attack completely stands exposed. It is a farce, and that has to be called out. Now, there have been some historical patterns, and why we are talking about this, because remember, just in the response to what happened in Pahalgam, first Pakistan said that India is jumping the gun by accusing it. Number two, then Pakistan called for a neutral investigation, a very tried and tested formula that Pakistan has used ever since it started, sheltering, aiding, abetting, training, terrorists who indulge in anti-India activities. And then there was this false, farce, complete farcical ISPR press conference in the middle of the night to try and show the world that, it's a tit-for-tat game which India is playing with Pakistan. But let me put some facts out for you. Historical pattern of state-sponsored terrorism by Pakistan. This is not new. From 1947, Pakistan has actively used terrorism and irregular warfare as its major tool of state policy against India. Bleeding by 1,000 cuts is what Pakistan has always been hoping and trying to do against India. This all started with the invasion of Jammu and Kashmir by Pakistani-backed tribal militias. In 1965, remember, Pakistan repeated the tactic, sending soldiers disguised as locals into Kashmir under Operation Gibraltar. It failed, and to spark any uprising, resulting in a war that Pakistan could not win. And then, of course, the wounds of 1971, where Pakistan was torn into two after its atrocities, the Pakistani army atrocities in Bangladesh. In 1999, once again, Pakistan betrayed the country with the Kargil war. Pakistani regulars and terrorists infiltrated, tried to occupy high positions in India, and Pakistan initially completely denied its involvement until irrefutable evidence had emerged. And once again, the same is being, in fact, done by Pakistan. We've been speaking about how that ISPR press conference was a complete farce. Should once again, and this is not the first time, it's been one after another, many times that we have exposed the lies of Pakistan. Is the time for discussion or even giving that elbow room to Pakistan over? I'm being joined at this moment by Major General Sanjay Messin, former Indian Army and strategic analyst. He served in Jammu and Kashmir on the Pakistan and China border. We also have Major General Yash Moore, defense analyst, who is with us at this moment. Major General Sudhakar G, VSM, retired strategy and security expert, former Indian Army General, also with us on the broadcast. But let me start with you, Major General Messin. This whole propaganda and how Pakistan utilizes. I mean, one thing we have to give Pakistanis, if there is one, possibly the only area where Indian establishment is one step behind them, is the falsehood and the propaganda that Pakistan creates, the smokescreen that they always try to create. And can, after being exposed multiple times on how Pakistan behaves in and indulges in anti-India activity, does this call for a neutral investigation where Pakistan is also involved, and some neutral agency or some other country is also involved? Should India even consider that as serious?
Ankit, no way. We should not even consider it. And you have given a very good historical background. In fact, in 71, they resorted to terrorism against their own people in East Pakistan, the then Bengalis over there. And they have been doing this in India since 1947. And not only that, they have been doing it very successfully in Balochistan. Balochistan was the only state which was granted autonomy, and for 227 days, Balochistan had their independence. And again, Pakistan Major General Akbar Khan, he led an invasion there and forced them to sign it. Again, an act of terrorism. In Kashmir, that same Major General did in October 47. So what I'm trying to highlight is terrorism is their DNA, and they will continue to do so, and they are the epicenter of terrorism in the entire world. 9/11 was conceived and planned in Pakistan. Majority of the terrorists were from Pakistan. And where was Bin Laden hiding? Again, they want a proof. And I think now we should learn the American way. They know where Bin Laden was hiding, and they sorted him out. They destroyed him, and you know the operation. I think now for high time, India need not get any proof, too much of proof and too much of decency by our country. Now we have to go on a full throttle and strangulate this country the way we have been doing it very successfully on the diplomatic front, economic front, political front, and also of course the holding on the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. I think these have sent major signals, and today entire world is with us, maybe except Turkey and China. They will only make symbolic statement. So Pakistan, now we are resorting to strategic strangulation,
right?
And thereafter I think we have to do the military part of it, which is the most important. That is up to us when we do it.
Right.
We need to strangulate them, and you know this state-sponsored terrorism from Pakistan shall not and cannot be accepted by India.
Absolutely. I mean, business can't be as usual as far as Pakistan is concerned. This whole, Major General Moore, let me ask you this. This terror military complex that Pakistan very successfully has, harbored, made, for their sinister plans against India. At this moment, there is also an attempt by Pakistan, ISI and the ISPR to try and show that, well, this is a tactic that both these countries employ. India is also fanning terrorism in Balochistan, according to them. Hence, what we do in Kashmir is fair and square. They do this press conference in the middle of the night, ISPR, and then they come out with some doctored evidence which have been proven absolutely false, sir.
Yeah, Ankit, firstly, we have called the Pakistani bluff many times. And in this entire thing, in fact, one of the graphics you need to change of 1999 Kargil war, there were no terrorists, all absolutely regular. It was we somehow played into their hands in the initial part, but once the Musharraf tapes were out, the whole world saw that it was there was no terrorist. All of them were Pakistani regulars who took part or who entered our territory. And then you know what happened to them. Now, coming to the present state and also what happened in Pulwama or Bin Laden getting caught there. See, in this entire thing, we need to somehow isolate the Pakistan army, their military, the terror factory that the military runs. The Pakistan military, the only way they can control, because they're fighting a losing battle in Balochistan, they're buying it very badly there. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the average rate of casualties is 5 to 6 every day. Much more than probably any other country involved in any counter-terror operation. So that is going on. Their relations with Taliban are in very bad state. So the strategic depth there is to talk of is no longer there. Iran is much closer to India than it ever was, and there are a lot of issues with the Iranians also. And within Pakistan, the ethnic issues, ethno-nationalism, which keeps raising its head. So all that is on one side. Pakistan army is, I must tell you, I'm making a very bold statement, is one of the most insecure institutions. I don't know why we don't understand the Pakistan army. They are most disliked organization in their own country, and they are most insecure. And this I can tell you by large number of interaction wherever I've had or I've seen the Pakistan military officers. Their headquarters they're really fortresses, because they fear attacks by Tehreek-e-Taliban. The entire terror factory went into two parts. One which was controlled by ISI, where Lashkar-e-Toiba is the lead agency. TRF is a fallout of that, and Jaish-e-Mohammed.
Yes.
But there are organizations like Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which are getting after the Pakistan military.
Absolutely.
So in this entire thing, as we bring out the falsehood of the Pakistan, we must isolate the Pakistan military, their leadership.
Absolutely, because one thing is very, very clear, and it is something which is a historical fact for a country. When it was made, it inherited 33% of the erstwhile British army, with a population which it had at that point of time was only 17%. So in proportion, it was a country which had a bigger army, and they did not know what to do. So their only objective was, they defined themselves as anti-India. Major General Sudhakar, let me bring you in at this moment, sir. Like I've been saying, for many countries, there is an army. For Pakistan, there is an army which has a country. I mean, that's the possibly difference that we are talking about between both India and Pakistan. But I just want to take you and go one by one to these evidence which have been which have come out of the Pakistan's fakery, which has been exposed of the press conference which was hurriedly called, because Pakistan, sir, is trying to project as if that India is also using terror on Pakistani soil. So it's a battle of equal which is taking place. What they do in Jammu Kashmir is what India is doing in Baluchistan. Pakistan produced one WhatsApp call recording of the alleged terrorist, which was captured in Pakistan, which Pakistan Army's own admission was on April 25th. Now, the WhatsApp call recordings, which have been produced by the ISPR, have been found to be of 1 year ago, sir. A full year before the Pakistani army claimed that this terrorist was captured in 2025. Does that mean that the ISI itself allowed these attacks despite knowing? Isn't this a very solid evidence of how Pakistan is only using propaganda as a tool, sir?
Absolutely, Ankit. Good evening. Thank you for getting me to your show. I am far away from the mainland of India. I'm in Greece, and compliments to your coordinators to catch me in a far off island territory of Greece. But whatever one is learning from open media source, it's only an understatement. Let's understand the very genesis of Pakistan. I always call it in different channels as a genetic disorder. We need to take our mind back as to how Pakistan took birth and how it has gone through its journey of its progress. And the journey has
I think Greece at this moment is not allowing us to, get an absolutely no problem line with you. We'll try and fix that and come back to you. But Mr. General, okay, I've just been told that General Sudhakar is back. So go ahead.
Am I audible? Can I go ahead, please?
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, Ankit, if I'm audible, all I'm saying is that Pakistan's game of propaganda is only a mainstay which it has been exercising right since its birth, to which I always have been addressing as a genetic disorder. And the genetic disorder has actually got blunted so badly because of repeated lies that its credibility is no longer being accepted anywhere in the world. I'm here in the western part of the world, somewhere in the Greece, for an important task. And in that task lies the center of the fact remains that the Pakistan, whether it should continue as a nation state or not, it has got into, this is the state which has got 25th bailout from IMF of almost $7 billion. It's into an economic crisis. Its debt is running into almost about $185 billion. Its debt servicing is so high that the sovereign debt is a very serious default.
Yes.
It may experience the same very soon. The whole idea of creation of Pakistan was based on the concept of creating a buffer state where the enemy used to be Soviet Union. Now the Soviet Union exist, and that very concept of having a buffer state, Pakistan, between the Soviet Union and Indian borders is no longer holds good. So that there is a high degree and high element of I won't say conspiracy,
right,
but tacit support to the existence of Pakistan.
Right.
This bailout is a clear indication. Besides that, the nuclear assets which it has got, it takes my mind back to a book written by Daniel Marquet, an American author, No Exit from Pakistan, wherein he highlights that no matter how tormenting the relationship between Pakistan and America may be, The USA at no point in time will ever depart or leave Pakistan alone. USA will
what you're saying, the crux of it is that India will have to, we can't wait or we can't expect anybody else to do our job for us. We will have to stand up and do the job for ourselves without, in fact, hoping or thinking that, the world should rally behind us, because the fact remains, and let me get you in, General Messin, on this. When Pakistan does a Pahalgam or when Pakistan comes into Kargil, Pakistan doesn't care. India is also a nuclear power. Pakistan doesn't care about the repercussions, the same repercussions which the world is now telling us that we should also be careful about, because Pakistan is a nuclear country. We have to call Pakistan bluff on our own. We can't wait for the world to, in fact, go around and possibly hope that the tension diffuses and then everything goes back to normal, and in few years we see another Pahalgam.
Ankit, very true. Firstly, we have to fight our own battle. There is no denying that's a fact. We have to do that. Number two is, for fighting this, we have to shape the environment, which is being done very successfully by the government of India, the diplomatic and everything. All the world leaders stand with us. And since Pakistan is the epicenter of terrorism, I think now is the time, as it is the Prime Minister of India has given a very, very clear-cut directive and clearance. So the armed forces, now everything is in our hands. When we do, what we do, how we do at time of own choosing, because Pakistan's bluff has to be sorted out once and for all. And we as a nation have been very decent. We have been tolerating their nonsense in last 40 years in terms of so many terrorist attacks on our home soil. Everywhere, whether it is Kashmir, whether it is Mumbai, Hyderabad, Delhi, anywhere you talk, they have been using terrorists.
Right.
So now we shall and cannot accept this nonsense of Pakistan. We have to sort them out once and for all. This DNA of theirs has to be reversed. The genetic engineering has to be reversed.
Okay.
And the best way is the people of Pakistan are the assets who are going to be against their armed forces. We have seen a trailer where the corps commander's house was burnt, the military and air bases were destroyed. So what I'm trying to say is, Pakistan people, the Awam, the armed Janta of Pakistan, now they are going to be against their armed forces. And when I was in Afghanistan, I recollect, when I used to come across some Pakistanis and Afghans who were there in Pakistan, students, they used to say the Pakistani young generation regrets partition, and they know where India has gone today and where Pakistan has gone into a gadda, into a ditch.
Sir, I'm sorry, I'm completely out of time. I'll have to wrap it up here. But the fact remains, and as the gentleman on the broadcast said, enough is enough. For India, we can't wait for another Pahalgam. We can't have business as usual where Pakistan does something every few years and then there is some sort of retaliation. It has to have a permanent solution. What that permanent solution is, the entire country is backing the government, but it's time to act, and we are waiting for that action to take place. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me at this moment. With that, we're slipping into a short break. We're coming back. Stay tuned.